Hey guys, welcome back to another video on ExcelMe. In today's video, I'll talk about my version 1 of my Notion dashboard. So this is what I put together when I first started with Notion, learning how to use it, and I found that it really tends to grow with you. So I'll kind of do a bit of a walkthrough followed by how you can actually put one together yourself. So let's get started. So this is the page that I'm greeted with every time I open Notion on my iPad or my Mac. So I've kind of divided it into 4 key areas. One for content creation, some of the resources that I have, miscellaneous pages, and an archives. So it's loosely based on Tiago Forte's Para method with quite a few tweaks. So I was quite liberal with it. So if I kind of just step through the content page itself, I think that's where most of the value is for myself, being a creator. So if I, for example, go into blog posts, this is kind of the engine that drives ExcelMe website. So all the various ideas that I've come up with or come across, stuff that I'm kind of researching at the moment. When I'm working on a post, I'll kind of drag it into here under writing. So I really like this kind of Kanban board view, which kind of gives me that quick high-level view of what I'm kind of working on at the moment. I think probably 90% of the time I'm probably in this view. I've kind of dissected it into different views in the past. I don't really use this kind of working in progress view much anymore. The table format doesn't really do it in terms of knowing where I'm at. But it's useful to just kind of split these up using different views. So this one has all the posts I've ever created on ExcelMe. I kind of capture some of the categories, the type, URLs, word count, when I've published things, and again, kind of just a published view. But again, I don't really use this view all that much anymore. I think the calendar view is quite helpful. This shows me if I'm kind of on track or if there's been a month where I haven't really created anything. So I quite like this view, and it's kind of something I just kind of have a look at once a week, just make sure I'm kind of on track with my various tasks. So just going back to the main page, again, something similar I've created for creating YouTube videos. Again, just kind of calendar views. Sorry, I've been a bit slack creating these videos. So as you can see, July's been a bit of a blank month. So yeah, again, just in content examples, this is kind of the resources that I've put together for ExcelMe. So if you go to the website, I've got various posts that have been put together for Notion Foundations. So if, for example, I was in the new database tutorial, you can kind of find some of the captures that I've put together when I was putting this tutorial together. And then I think some of you guys would have found, for example, free templates that I've put together just on the recipe book. So go check that out if you haven't seen it already. In resources, again, just a content calendar view that I walked through earlier, social media and ExcelMe assets, so they're kind of just various diagrams and pictures that I've used across the various platforms. And just in miscellaneous, again, just my goals for the website and YouTube channel or ExcelMe brand in general over time for the goals for this year. AI, I guess everyone's kind of using that, just some prompts and details that I've tested out to see if it can help me with some of the content production. And then ideas, just various swipes that I've seen from other creators. So just putting it there, just when I need a bit of a brainstorm, can click around, go through various templates. And then archives, again, this is kind of just a repository of old things. I think I've left the Notion default pages as well, so if I ever need to go back and refer to these, they're there. So nothing really ever gets deleted. I haven't run out of space on Notion itself per se, so yeah, I basically archive everything. So I mean, that's the kind of high level walkthrough. Let's now jump into how you can create something basic like this. So we'll start out with a blank page, and let's start filling this out. So let's call this my dashboard. We'll create an empty page. I like to just add an icon just to kind of get us started. So lightning bolt, add a cover. Let's change this cover to something. Let's just pick this. It's really up to yourself. I like to use a full width just to give me a bit more space. And if we were to go something like the dashboard earlier, so we would do /4C for 4 columns, and then /H1 for the first heading. So if we call this, say, content, I like to add a line just for kind of separation. I mean, the main body of this dashboard is kind of that blog post and YouTube collection. So if we were to say create a new page, and let's call this blog posts, we'll create an inline database. Let's call the database blogs, and we'll add a few properties here. So let's start with, say, a status, and we can just use the default here, not started, in progress, and done. So obviously if you have more of a refined process, you can add additional ones. So if we change this, say, to writing, and we can add another one in progress here that has research. Let's change the color just so it's a bit easier to see. So I think and let's tweak the name as well, and let's call this status. What else do we have? I had a date property, so again we can say published date. I think that as default is fine. You can add a select, which has a the type of articles that you're posting. So let's call this type, and we'll create a couple of new ones. So let's call this info. Maybe if you had an affiliate post, maybe you have a pillar post, so you can add and change whatever you need there. And we can also add a URL, just so you can kind of log where your blog posts. And then we can also have a word number. We're going to do word count here. So there are a few kind of properties to get started with. Again, let's go full width just to make things a bit easier to see. Let's delete that. We can add an icon again, so we can call this database. So let's add a database icon, make it green. So if we come back here, we now have our blog posts. So I think we can also create something similar for our YouTube pages. So let's call this YouTube videos, and I just want to create another inline and we'll say videos. And again, we can add something similar, so I might just zoom through this. So one thing I like to do with, say, blog posts and YouTube is also be able to link these. So let's create a relational property, and we want to link this to our videos, and we want to be able to link it as a two-way with no limits. So what this will be able to show is if I write a blog post and also create a YouTube video to sit behind that, we can link that, and then it's kind of, I can find all my kind of content about that particular topic in one space, which I find really helpful. So this is the kind of default table view. The one I showed earlier was a Kanban view, so if we were to kind of replicate this now and create a new view, let's call that a board view. Let's call it that. Again, depends on if you like any kind of covers or content. Let's for now just keep it as nothing. Let's go small. Again, I think we're good to group by status. And if you like to kind of open a blog post straight, if not, you can do a side peek or the center peek, so that one's really up to you. Okay, now let's reorder this view. Let's go here, layout, group by status, sort. Make sure that's on manual, otherwise you won't be able to kind of adjust it. And let's say we want to go start with not started, research done. So we've created a couple of kind of dummy templates here, so we're going to say this post 1. Here we can now start shifting these across different views, so once you finish you can kind of drag these. One other thing that I like setting up is a template, so let's call this blog post template, and I like to kind of populate this with a few to-dos or kind of the system how I put together a blog post. So say keyword research, so I'll then list out a few keywords, title ideas, and then also a section for say post research. You can make this kind of as sophisticated or as simple as you like. So as we kind of, this is my starting template, let's just keep it simple. So I think that's it for now, and that's pretty much all I would do for now for blog posts. If we go back to my dashboard, you can kind of replicate a similar process for say the YouTube videos. One other thing I wanted to include was a calendar view, which would be helpful. So we go to add calendar. I think that's all we kind of really need to do for now. And once we kind of start populating this database with blog posts, you'll be able to see a calendar view of it. So again, if we were to create a page here called content calendar, we could link this to an existing database. So we want to call this and a calendar view. So I like to create all the standard views on the master database, and anything where I call the database view, I don't have to kind of keep replicating it over and over. So that's just a tip for when you're developing your own dashboard and database. Again, I like to include a full width. So here I'll be able to kind of see a holistic view of how much work that I've done for the month, what I have planned for the month, and where I kind of have a bit of gaps. So yeah, I think this is a really helpful view for your content planning for the month. If you then come back to my dashboard, other things you can add, say let's create a goals page. Okay, now we have this goals page. Let's add an icon. Let's just say a mountain for the climb for the year. And again, I like to kind of just create a database here. So let's just create a new database and call this goals. And here you can kind of add your goals throughout the year. So hit 1,000 YouTube subscribers, run a marathon, and make $10 million. Again, here, given this is one of my first dashboards, I kept it simple. So I really just had 3 extra columns. So if we change this to number, so this was current, add another one with another number, so say target, and then I also had one that had a formula that showed me how I'm progressing throughout the year. So if we just go to formula, edit the formula, and I'll drop this formula down below, and also I'll link to a video where I've shown you how to make a progress bar, so I'll link that. So as of the time of recording, I think there was about 200 followers, 200 subscribers, sorry. I'm going to hit 1,000 for the year. Run a marathon, so it's kind of a binary yes no, and make $10 million, and not even close to that, so let's not bother. We just add in some numbers. So here you can kind of see a progress. Let's tweak this to show a percent and a bar, and there you can kind of see how I'm tracking against my goals throughout the year. So again, just a nice view that reminds me how I'm kind of working towards my goals for the year. So I mean, they're kind of the key things that I used on the dashboard. If there's anything else specific that we kind of walked through earlier that you would like to see how to create, or something you'd like to discuss, drop a comment down below and I'll try to answer that as soon as I can. But I think we can wrap up this video. So thanks for watching. Remember to hit subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it. It really helps the channel out, and thanks for watching.